All right. All right, can you see lesson 32 now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We're looking at relative pronouns. We looked at them just a little bit last week, just kind of an introduction. What I showed you, I believe, last week was that they can look like, if you're not careful, they can look like an article. And you can mistake them for an article. And that can be a problem. Say the eta, the only difference is an article just has the rough breathing, doesn't have the acute accent mark. So that would be your difference. We may have an eta down here in some of the text. You can see the difference. But I don't see one right quick, so we won't spend more time on it. But it's just an eta with a rough breathing rather than rough breathing and an accent mark. So, and of course, the same thing occurs with the neuter or nominative singular. It has a rough breathing and an acute. So it kind of looks like it. And your masculine over here, right here, hoy would be the article, but this has an accent mark on it, the eta. So again, it can deceive you if you're not careful. That makes sense. The problem we have, and the high also over here. They probably pronounced them differently, but made some kind of distinction between them, but I don't know what it was. All right. We have a sentence here in John 1:30. Hutos estin peri who. There's a relative pronoun. Ego, ipon, opiso, who, erketa, on air, host. There's another one. Impros, and mu, genomen. Gegonen, I'm sorry. All right, we have several pronouns here, and so we have a pretty complex sentence here, and this one is concerning the one whom I said, after me, comes a man who is before me and has become before me. Okay. So, and more translated translate has become before me. Right. So again, we have the relative pronoun here. We have it here in those two places. Right. Now, the relative pronoun is a pronoun that relates or connects a subordinate clause, and it's used as an adjective with an antecedent in the main clause. Now, some pronouns take postcedents, and that would be generally the ones that are related to commandments. And so they would take postcedents. Post means after. Ante, A-N-T-E, is Latin for before. So it takes something that goes before it. That's the normal case. The antecedent is a substantive. Now that's something that acts like, or looks like, functions like a noun. Now it could be some other part of speech, but most of the time it would be a noun, or it is at least substantive. It goes before, that is, which the pronoun is connected in thought. So you have to see what it's connected to in thought. In the sentence, the man whom you sent is here. The man is here is the main clause. Whom you sent is the relative clause. So whom you sent is a subordinate clause. Whom is the relative pronoun in English. The man is the antecedent. That's he just using an English illustration here. The English relatives are who, which, what, and that. The Greek relatives are hos, who is most common, hostis. And so notice they take hos right here. They join it with another pronoun, tis, and make a new pronoun out of it. That's what they've done there. And so it has special usage, and they take hos and as many as, and so they make another one. Oh my, I hit the wrong key. I'm back to it. All right. Again, we have another one down here, such as what sort. So there's a spinoff, and this has been combined with some other forms to make new pronouns. So these are your relative pronouns right here. He shows three of them, three relative pronouns. Okay. And the declension of hos, the symbol is hos, hey, and ho. And again, as I warned you, it looks a lot like an article sometimes. It can look like an article. I want to show you something else, however, right here. These forms here are the same in the masculine as they are in the neuter. All right, can you see that right here and here? Also, the forms here are the same as the forms over here. So again, that is the genitive, ablative, dative, instrumental, locative in masculine and neuter are the same in both singular and plural. So that means if you have one of these relative pronouns, such as right here, you don't know whether it's masculine or whether it's neuter. The context will have to tell you. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Any questions about that? And Ephesians 1, 13 and 14, there's a textual variant. Some of your manuscript have hos and some have ho. The only difference is just one letter, but it has a world of difference in interpretation. So there's a textual problem with that. Okay. Now you'll notice also that your neuter, singular, nominative singular, and accusative singular are the same form. Again, you can't tell which it is. You have to go by context. Over here on the neuter plural, singular, nominative singular, nominative plural neuter, and the accusative plural neuter are the same. Again, it's a contextual question as to which is which. All right. So this is your declension of it. This is your form. Now I have let me see what the title of it is. information for students file. And in that file, we actually can go over and see the form of it. But it's just what I have open right now. It's just this table, no nicer format. But you have it, and you can take it out. You could actually cut and paste it into some document if you wanted to for your own study. Okay. Of course, you already knew that, I'm sure. So we'll be using this form. And again, it would be, if you wanted to go into that file and copy that and print it, you could just have it right in front of you and look at it. You wouldn't have to thumb back and forth. That could be useful. It gives you a relative clause. Let's go back and see another relative clause here. This sentence that's in italics, we see right here. The sentence, the man whom you sent is here. The man is here, and that's your main clause. Whom you sent is a relative clause, right? The man is here would make a complete sentence. But you added the relative clause to give some more information about it. That's what it does for us, whom you sent. So it's going to give additional information about the subject or whatever it's referring to, whichever the pronoun is referring to, whatever it's referring to. Right. Can be used here as an adjective, or it says as adjectival. So it's used in an adjectival manner. Usually it's adjectival, describing or identifying the antecedent. That's the normal usage for it, right? Makarios, ho, doulos, and kainos, hon, elthon. Ho, kurios, atu, hirese, poiunta, hutos. Blessed is the servant, this servant, or the one that, and whom, and that is used in the case of it here is accusative case. Notice here, whom, right here, that's your accusative form. Coming, that's the participle. I don't think we've had participles yet. Oh, Kyrios, the Lord of him, his Lord, finds doing thusly. This is an adverb of manner. The os ending, omega sigma, is an ending for is the ending for an adverb of manner, same as our English ly ending. Okay. All right. So there's a relative clause. Blessed is the servant, the Lord shall find doing, and shall find doing this. Okay, so it's whom, and whom his Lord shall find doing. Blessed is the servant. What servant? The one whom his Lord shall find doing this. Okay. So it gives you more information about it. That's acting like an adjective. See, the tall man, tall is an adjective. So it gives you more information about the man. Questions or comments?
Yes, sir. Would you back up just a little bit to Ostis? Keep on going. I think it's before. Yes. Yes, right there. Is there? It's for who? And my question is, what is that? I assume that's singular. Is there a plural?
It is fully declined.
So it's the same for whatever then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the nominative singular form. All right.
But it's also nominative plural?
No. I'd say I believe it's fully declined. Okay. All right. Let me see.
So it wouldn't have a different form for nominative nominative plural?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a different form for nominative plural. I want to get out of it. I want to get into another file.
Okay,
I hope you can see it.
not yet. Now it's there.
All right, there's your relative pronoun. All right. I think we'll have another one down here.
Oh, there you go.
Does that help?
Yes, sir. That is helping. And then the plurals below it,
Yes. This is your nominative singular form
right?
we're talking about. There's genitive and ablative singular, dative instrumental locative singular, and then there's accusative singular. And
And then the plural is that a table right below that? Is that what I saw?
I'm going to check this. This could be a mistake. It should be, but I think it's over here's plural down here. There's
Okay. I would agree. The other does look like a mistake.
I think it is. I'm going to
Yeah,
check
wait,
later on.
Martinez.
I'll check it. All right.
Yeah, some of the other forms are certainly distinct from the nominative singular.
Yeah, there's your feminine. And
Right.
OT is this. This is found 145 times. This word is, but the OT form. I'll get up the footnote over here. That form, OT, probably a footnote down here, and that one's found 1,296 times. Okay.
Okay, and I noticed a comment up there on the table. Right, yes, a little bit more. Oh, yeah, just, yes, right there. Relative combined with the indefinite tease.
Yes.
So that's just, it was, the comment is not because it's necessarily with tease, but it's found 145 times with tease.
What it is, it's host and tease put together.
Right,
Those two words are put together, and those two pronouns are put together and made into another pronoun. That's what that means.
okay, because tease is usually someone, anyone, that sort of thing.
A certain one, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, yes, that helps a great deal.
OT
Thank you.
is the neuter singular form of this word. And it's found, how many times around here? 1,296 times. So if you looked at it, they would say, well, OT, hosties is found, like 1,400 times. But most of them are OT, that form, neuter form. Takes on kind of a special meaning, okay? That help?
Yes, sir, very much so. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna get out of it. Go back to our file.
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
That's why I had it open to that, because I thought it would. Can you see it back to the file?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Okay, Bobby, does that help a little bit?
Yes, sir. I had mine open. I opened that up too earlier today to look at something. So I made a highlight there. So I could.
Okay.
It was on page 13, and I usually put the page in there in my notes. So.
Okay. Well, I think this is covered later, but I'm not sure. We may not cover it fully because in this book, I think it does. There's your declension of it. It's similar to agathos, okay? Right. So you take agathos and how it's declined and take the ending here of it, and that'll be what you'd have over here, just the ending of agathos as you decline it. That'll get pretty much your endings here, okay? All right. And again, I had in that file that I had for you, the one entitled Information for Students file. I'm assuming you have it. I think I've sent that to you, but I'll check and see about correcting that. I think it's got an error in it. Okay, but I typed those in by hand, and so I just have to worry with it. Okay, relative clause is usually adjectival, describing or identifying the antecedent, giving more information about the antecedent. Without an antecedent, though, see, however, right here, it says it usually is that, but however, it could, without an antecedent, it may often be the subject of the sentence, okay? In this case, it's nominative case. Hos, eke, whosoever, who has ota, ears, to hear, that's an infinitive. And this right here is imperative mood, which we haven't covered yet, Bobby. So that's basically saying let him hear. Greek has a third person singular and plural imperative mood form. We don't have that in English. Okay? Our imperative mood is always in the second person. Okay, so this is third person, and they translate it in order to get that here, let him hear, and that should not be interpreted as permission. It's a commandment, and so that causes I believe, a little bit of confusion the way it's translated, but that's the best they can do, I think. Okay. So when it gets over to the imperative mood, which comes a little later, we're more than halfway through with the book, so we're doing fairly well. So, any question? Okay. Okay. Ota, akuain, akueto. And so this is the present infinitive here. So whoever has ears to hear is implying not an aorist tense, present tense, indicating more of a durative thing. Let him keep on hearing. If he has ears to hear, let him keep on hearing. Right. Make it a practice for hearing. It's more like something that's a practice. The rule of syntax, the agreement of relative with its antecedent. Relative agrees with its antecedent gender and number. Now you can say that. All right. For example, or okay. The man to whom this is, let's look back up now, hoist. Mute your mic there if you would there. Okay. That's good. Okay, to whom, it's this form right in here. Dative, instrumental, locative, masculine, or it could be neuter. All right. Now I know it's masculine because it's men. Okay. So that's why I know it's masculine. So right here, hoi, there's masculine article, and this word's masculine plural. And this is masculine plural, dative, instrumental, locative form. To whom or by whom. And so that could be by whom, to whom, or with whom. Dative, instrumental, or locative form. Okay. Hi, gonna case, heis. And so again, that's also dative, instrumental, locative, plural, but it's feminine. And so the women who, or that could be wives, this word gune could be translated wives or women. This is one case that the Greek is ambiguous where English is not. English has a word for wife and a word for women, two separate words. Greek has one word that covers both, and that's context determinant. So here the English is more exact than the Greek. Usually the Greek will be more exact, but that's not always the case. The women whom, or by whom, or to whom, or with whom. Okay. And, all right, any question there? The case is determined by its grammatical use. It's different. See, the other pronouns will agree in gender, number, and case with their antecedent. But the relative pronoun agrees in gender and number, but not necessarily in case. It may agree in case, but it's determined, its case is determined by how it's used in the sentence. Okay? Does that make sense? Any question? That's one thing. It's a little different. You got to watch it. You'll want it to agree in case. It won't always agree in case, but it will agree in gender and number. So it's
Could,
go ahead.
yes, sorry to take you back. Could you back up to the word you were translating up above, please, the sentence?
Which one?
Just another page up, I think, for me. Right there. Oh, okay, good enough. Shall find him doing this. Utos, shouldn't this be instead of tau omega sigma, tau omicron sigma?
Which one here?
On Matthew 24:46, the last word there after poiunta, it's got utos.
And that's an adverb of manner. Hutos.
Oh, so yeah, but it's translated, his Lord shall find him doing this. And hutos, the way it's written there, isn't that thus, not this?
Yeah, thusly would be doing thusly.
Oh, okay. So the yeah, I just confused it with the one with Omicron instead of Omega because of the way it was translated. So it's doing thusly. Okay, that got it.
It's doing in this manner. And
yeah, if I heard that in the Greek, I would not know the difference between the two. All right, but thank you. It makes sense.
I don't know. I think they may have pronounced the short O and long O a little bit differently. Utos or utos. Maybe there's just a subtle difference, and you really have into the Greek to catch it. And one would be a little longer than the other. Os, the sigma, this would be more utos, and Omicron would be utos. That's what I suspect. But we're not.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I know that some studies were done of the first century scribes and the errors they made, and it wasn't unusual to have an Omicron written as an Omega.
No, that's true.
Okay, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you going back.
If it was just a subtle to the length that it was held, if the reader, and a lot of times they would have a scriptorium where a man would be up reading it, and then there would be other men copying as he read. They write down what he wrote, what he said. And so, hearing the pronunciation, if you weren't trained, if there was one of them was a little longer than the other, that subtle difference might be missed. But pretty easy to miss. Okay. All right. So it can be attracted to the case of the antecedent. All right. So kind of keep that in mind. A clause may form an antecedent to the relative. So a whole clause can be what it's referring to. Here's some examples of that. Acts 11:29 and following, Colossians 1:29, Colossians 2:22 are three examples. There probably are some more examples. All right. So those are examples of it. The attraction of the relative, the case of the antecedent. So it can be attracted to the case of the antecedent. And that's a peculiarity. Relative may be attracted in form away from its grammatical case from actually how it's functioning and assume the case of the antecedent. It's usually away from the accusative to another oblique case. And of course, the nominative case is not an oblique case thing. I don't believe the vocative is either. So it would be an attraction away from the accusative to the genitive, ablative, dative, instrumental, vocative cases. That would be your other oblique cases. Okay. As accusative is an oblique case. The two cases that are not oblique is nominative and vocative. Those are the two. Right? Now, say may ois, the poiese. By signs, right? That's dative case. And there's a word for signs, by signs, which he did. Now here in this case, these are both in the dative instrumental vocative case, plural case. So they're in that dative instrumental vocative form. Both of them are plural, and which he did. This is, of course, past tense. This is aorist tense here, of course. Okay, and that's Acts 2:22. Right. Ek to hudatos. Who, I'm sorry. Ego, doso, auto. Out of the water, out of which I give to you. I give to you. Okay? So right here, this is genitive ablative, and he said it's ablative. I know it's ablative because ek only takes the ablative. That's why we know it's ablative. So this is attracted to the gender, and it's got the gender number right the same, but it also, in this case, has the same case. This is ablative, and this is ablative. Okay, that's John 4:14. So those are some more examples, I believe. Attraction of to the case. Right up here, it's attracted to the gender. May form an antecedent, neuter, and the relative. Case may form an antecedent to the relative. And clause. So this clause may form an antecedent, and I think what he's trying to tell you here, it's usually neuter gender when it does that. Your pronoun, your relative pronoun will be neuter. I think that's what he's trying to tell you. That's my understanding. So you may run into that. There is what's called a reverse attraction, and what's the antecedent being put in the case of the relative. So he has an illustration of this. And this is Herod speaking. On ego apekeva lisa ianein hutos egerthe. This John whom I beheaded is raised up. And so whom I beheaded, there's your relative pronoun at the beginning. And he is raised up. Okay, John is in the accusative case. So in this case, the antecedent is after it here, and that might be the case whenever this attraction occurs. It might be that it'll follow instead of going before to be a postcedent. And this John whom I beheaded is raised up. Think he was found guilt. That's right out of Scripture, Mark 6:16. I would hate to be in his shoes on the day of judgment. He's in a bad way right now, what he did to John. Logically, John should be in the nominative case, but it's in the accuser case. Drop the new off, and I think you'll have John in the nominative case. Right? So that's another exception. So this gets kind of, there's a lot of little things that can happen here. And so this relative gets kind of messy, a little bit messy. The relative often takes the gender of the noun in its predicate. Right? So take the gender of the noun in the predicate. And right here, to spermati, so os estin Christos, to thy seed, which is Christ, Galatians 3:16. Promises to you and to your children and to thy seed, which is Christ. Right? And so there it is. Christ is in the predicate, Christos, and there's your article. I'm sorry, there's your relative pronoun. Which one is Christ? Okay. They usually translated which here in this. That's older English, but it's still correct English. Okay. The antecedent may be omitted. Of course, that's just elliptical. The ellipsis does occur, and so we can see it being omitted. Post a pistususin, who, akuson, Romans 10:14. And so, and of course, that's post-positive today is the how shall they believe one in whom or whom they did not hear. And so the antecedent is omitted. This whom, who does it refer? It doesn't refer to they that are believing. It's someone else. So it's whom they did not hear. It's the person they did not hear. So it's elliptical antecedent. So you might just call this ellipsis. That's what it would be called. Now, here's another one. Hails, who, and then this is elliptical. Until when, until which, or until when or which. And so the word time is implied, but they might just say that. We just do that sometime in English, how long, say. And so that makes it almost a sentence, but it's elliptical, how long what? How long till whatever you're talking about occurs. So we may do that kind of thing in English as well. Here the word chrono, time, is implied here. And of course this is genitive ablative, and that's genitive ablative. Which until when, till when. I think in Spanish it's porque, or for what reason, or for why, would be more literal translation. Right? Relative clauses are often virtual equivalents of purpose clauses. Now this gets in very useful. And so they can become purpose clauses. So they're used as a clause that's going to modify something so it can tell you a purpose as well. Ego apostello ton angelion, hos kataskusa kataskusase tain hodon. Right? I am an apostle. This is emphatic. Anytime you have ego with a verb, it already has its subject as the end of the verb. That's nominative singular ending. And so this is emphatic. I, even I, and I, the apostle, and it's a messenger who shall prepare my way. Who he, and this is who shall prepare the way of me. So this goes over to the end in English. My way, that's where my way. In order, so this is the purpose. The purpose, I send my messenger for the purpose that he may prepare my way. That's the expression of purpose. Comments or questions? I'm going to get into another file, and I've got it open to the right page, and so we'll try to do that just pretty quickly. Let me say this. Let's talk about these. We have other relatives. These are the older relatives, but they do come in. This is qualitative. Of what sort? Hoist. Of what sort? Somewhat rare. It's rare. It is only 12 times. Osos. That's quantity. How many? And I think it's kind of rare as well. They are declining like adjectives of the first and second declension. So they're declining like adjectives. Here's an illustration of it. As many as touched, as many as touched or healed. Okay. And here's another one. And this, I believe, is the form of host. And hoios and hosos. And here's hosoi and hoios. This is the first one up here. And here is the second one right here. Okay. And this is affliction being, almost like English being between a rock and a hard place. Megale, that's great. It is, affliction is great. Whosoever, well, as many as great a value as, of what sort as not come to be from beginning of the world. Right. Right. I want to go back and look at this other file just a minute. And we'll get into it just before we quit. I think I don't know if I clicked it good enough. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
It says pronouns. This is
Yes.
Von and Gideon. This is a list of 12 distinct pronouns. You see them here. And this is on this file entitled Greek Lexicon and Grammar Notes. And this is not a complete list, but our lists have a complete list down below, okay? But you can find these pronouns here, down here. As you go down, you can just go down and find. This is a lot of discussion about relative pronouns. So if you want to get into that, there's several pages of stuff. These in the alphabetical order right following it as pronouns. Let's go down and see if we can find these pronouns. There's one of them. This is there, page 442. And here's the other one. This is on page 414 of it. So that's, and here's hostes that we talked about earlier. Okay. And it's important, it's qualitative in nature. Okay. Does that help? Any questions? All right, we're gonna end oh, not good.